Hi, it's Elise Corbin from Peter Francisco Soil and Water Conservation District, and today we're going to learn about frogs. Now, frogs are amphibians, and there are 4 things that are necessary for something to be considered an amphibian. First, they're cold-blooded. What this means is you and I are warm-blooded. It means our body temperature stays the same. It's 98.6 or generally around that area. No matter whether it's freezing outside, whether it's 100 degrees outside, our body temperature is around 98.6. Now, cold-blooded creatures, their blood is whatever the temperature is outside. So if it's 40 degrees outside, their blood is 40 degrees. If it's 100 degrees outside, their blood is 100 degrees. So if it's freezing outside, what do you think will happen to their blood? So most cold-blooded creatures have to hibernate. So frogs dig down in the earth when those temperatures start to freeze, about 4 feet. That's below the frost line so that they won't freeze. So they're cold-blooded. Number 2, they have a backbone, which means they're a vertebrate. Number 3, they live part of their lives in water and part of their lives on land. And the 4th criteria for being an amphibian is that they lay eggs. Their young hatch from eggs, but they don't look like a chicken egg with a nice hard shell. It's a different type of egg. So, frogs. This book is by Kevin J. Holmes. And we're just going to look through a few things with this book. First of all, fast facts. There are over 4,100 different kinds of frogs. Frogs live everywhere in the world except Antarctica. And it's always frozen there, so you can imagine being cold-blooded, they would not live there. They spend most of their time in between water and land, don't they? And what do they eat? They eat insects, worms, things like that. Some of them even eat slugs, small animals, small fish. Frogs come in a lot of different colors. Look at this beautiful orange one. Ooh, look at that blue one. And look at this one. You see this one? This is called a glass frog. And you know where it's found? In South Africa. Kind of reminds me of Cinderella with a glass slipper. His body's see-through. All right. Let me see. Let's look at the size of frogs. Did you know that it can be as small as a ½ inch right here, or it can be as big as this one. That's 2 feet. Look at the size of that frog. Look how itty-bitty this one is. This is somebody's finger, and it's just sitting on their finger, ½ inch. Makes the finger look big, huh? We talked about what frogs eat, worms and small fish and slugs and other animals. Do you know what eats a frog? Look at this. Snakes, among other things, eat frogs. Birds, things like that, reptiles and birds. Look at how the frog eats. Look at that long tongue that goes out and catches its prey. And when a frog wants to speak and say ribbit, it blows up. Look at that. Ribbit, ribbit. So frogs aren't born looking like this, are they? When frogs are first, we talked about amphibians have to lay eggs. Well, this is what frog legs look like. Almost look like little tiny eyes. Then they hatch out into a tadpole. Then the tadpole grows back legs. No front legs yet, but look how long that tail is. Then it grows front legs. So now it's got a pair of back legs, a pair of front legs, and still that long tail. Pretty soon the froglet's tail gets shorter. And finally it disappears. And it looks like this. So that's the life cycle of a frog. Now we're going to read a really, really fun book. It's called A Frog in the Bog. It's by Karma Wilson and Joan Rankin. All right, this is a nice counting book. There's a frog on a log in the middle of a bog. Let's see, where is that frog? There he is. He's a little old thing. A small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. Now you can see him sitting there in the middle of the bog. Right there in the middle of the bog on a half-sunk log. What's he going to do? He flicks one tick as it creeps up a stick. Okay, he stuck his tongue out and he got a tick as it crept up a stick. One tick. One tick in the belly of a small green frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. And you can see the tick inside his stomach. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. Okay. He sees two fleas as they leap through the reeds. There's the two fleas leaping through the reeds. What do you think he's going to do? One tick, two fleas in the belly of the frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of the bog. Look at them all in his belly. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He sees three flies as they fly through the sky. One tick, two fleas, three flies, oh my, in the belly of a frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. Look at that stomach. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He glugs four slugs as they slink through the slug. Glug, 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 glug. Now what have we got? We've got one tick, two fleas, three flies, oh my, four slugs, ooh, ugh, in the belly of a frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. What's going to happen? Is the frog going to grow a little bit bigger? Yes, it is. And the frog grows a little bit bigger. He inhales 5 snails from their heads to their tails. Look at those snails. One tick, two fleas, three flies, oh my, 4 slugs, ooh, ugh, and 5 slimy snails in the belly of a frog on a half-sunk log in the middle of a bog. What a hog! That frog. Look at everything in his belly. And the frog grows even bigger. Ooh, he's getting pretty big. Then the log with the frog in the middle of the bog starts to rise. Oh no! And the frog sees claws and a big set of jaws and a mouth like a crater, and the frog screams, "Gator!" his mouth open wide, all the critters that are inside start to crawl and fly and slither and slide. So what's going to come out? Out come 5 snails from their head to their tails. 4 slugs, ooh, ugh. 3 flies, oh my, bzzz, right on out of him with his mouth open wide. 2 fleas, dear me, and 1 tiny tick, ick. What do you think happens to that frog now? Let's find out. And right in the middle of his holler, that tiny frog grows a whole lot smaller. See ya later, says the gator as he romps through the swamp, 'cause that itty-bitty frog isn't big enough to chomp. So now the bugs in the bog, they keep away from the frog. And the frog never sits on a half-sunk log. The end.